Vedanta Deshika Kataksha Vivruddha Bodham Kantopayantra Yaminah Karunaika Patram Vatsan Bhavayam Anavadya Gunairupetam Bhaktya Bhajami Paravadi Bhayankararyam. So we finished till the 23rd one last week. 24th. Anybody is able to recognize what are these names here?
Dashavatara.
Dashavatara. Correct. Meena Krite Kamatha Kola Nrisimha Varnin Swamin Parashwatha Tapodhana Ramachandra Shesham Sharama Yadunandana Kalki Rupa Sri Venkatachalapate Tava Suprabhatam. Can you identify which ones? First one is
Matsyavatara.
Matsya Meena Krite. Second is
Kamata Kurmam.
Kamatha Kurma Avataram. Kola is a boar. Kola, the Kola dance that they do, no? Kantara. That's called the Kola dance. The Varaha dance, Varaha Avtara. Kola Bhuta nu Shalvada. Kola Bhuta. If you remember the Kantara movie, that is a tradition in Karnataka, in the villages. So Kola is a boar, Varaha. Then Rasimha Varnin, Swamin Parashwa. Who holds the Parashu? Parashu is an axe. Parashurama, right? Then Tapodhana. Tapodhana is one for whom his tapas is his wealth. Austerities is his wealth. Tapodhana. His dhana is tapasya. Usually Brahmins are referred to as such, right? Brahmins, because they engage into a lot of austerities. So who is the Brahmin in this Dashavatara? Vamana Avatara, right? The little boy Vamana. So Tapodhana is Vamana. Then Ramachandra. Then Sheshamsha Rama. Shesha Amsha.
Balarama, right?
Balarama. How? Because he is the Amsha of Adisesha. Shesha Amsha Rama. So this is the Rama who is the Amsha of Adisesha. Seshamsha Rama. Yadunandana. Krishna. Kalki Rupa. Kalki Bhagavan. Sri Venkatachalapate Tava Suprabhatam. So you see how many? Meena Krite, Kamatha, Kola, Nrisimha, Parashwa, Parashurama, Tapodhana, Vamana, Ramachandra, Balarama, Krishna, Kalki. Okay. Now this is his Prativadi Bhayankara Manna's sequence, and also the way he sees Venkatachalapate as these forms of Narayana, these avatars. And see, one thing you will notice that avatars, when they are describing the Dashavatara, there is always this confusion. I know those who keep Golu at home, you'll always have this confusion. Every year. Yaar first varuva? Who is to be kept on the left? Parashuramar first varuvara, Balaramar varuvara, Ivaru varuvara. இது ஒரு perennial confusion every year. And அப்புறம் கடைசியில் ஒரு முடிவு பண்ணுவோம், யாரோ ஒருத்தர் வந்தா என்ன நமக்கு என்னன்னா, important thing is you should keep a story why you have kept it that way, because people visiting will ask you also, no? Why is Parashurama first? Then you tell some story. எதுக்கு பலராமர் அப்புறம் தான் இல்ல இப்படின்னு ஒரு ஸ்டோரி, ஏதோ ஒரு ஸ்டோரி சொல்லி நம்ம வந்து we convince ourselves and the people who come. Point is, சொல்லுங்க மாமா.
I think Sudhu, they say that evolution also happened that way.
Correct.
Matsya Kurma Varaha, like that.
That is correct. There is a sequence of evolution that is referred to there. So, but if you notice, in fact, you go to Jayadeva's Gita Govinda, the first song, the second song. Payodi Jala, enna paatu the second Gita Govinda. Amma, do you remember?
Pralaya Payodhi
Alaya
Jale.
Payodhi Jale Keshava.
Mm.
So that is the second Gita Govinda, Pralaya Payodhi Jale. And the part you will not find Krishna at all. Krishna will not appear in that sequence of Dashavataras. He also talks about Dashavatara. Pralaya Payodhi Jale. But the point is, he doesn't have Krishna there. Why? Because according to Jayadeva, Krishna is the main Purusha. The cosmic principle is Krishna. Like in ISKCON, if you go to ISKCON, for them the cosmic principle is Krishna. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, cosmic principle is Krishna. So according to that tradition, from Krishna these avatars came. These avatars come from Krishna. So in his, he'll have Buddha. He'll not have Krishna. He'll have Buddha and Kalki. Now in this, P.B. Anna is brought in the regular Navaratri Golu Dashavataras. Only thing is, you see a little bit of change in the sequence. Now if you look at Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam,
Jayadevaruda idile Jayadeva feels that Krishna is the only one who has taken all the avatars.
Correct.
That is the
correct. That's what I said. So the that is the tradition in which not just Jayadeva, that whole Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that tradition, the Bhakti Vedanta tradition, they believe that Krishna is the cosmic principle and these avatars from Krishna. So which is why Krishna doesn't appear as an avatar. Correct? That's what Amma is also saying. Now, in the Bhagavatam, if you see, there are at least 30 plus avatars of Bhagavan indicated in Bhagavatam. But why only these 10? For some reason, the 10 avatars have been identified as principal avatars. Like how out of the 108 Upanishads, only 10 Upanishads have been taken out because of the Brahma Sutra. Only 10 Upanishads have been taken out to call them as 10 principal Upanishads. Like that, 10 avatars have been taken from the list of avatars that are there in Bhagavatam. Several avatars he is taken. Out of that, 10 have been identified as the main principal avatars, and that is what is generally glorified. That is generally glorified. Now, the other thing, like Raghu told, there is also a reference to evolution there. For those you're familiar with this, in the story, you will every time you'll have to tell it in Navaratri. Okay. So the evolution is, you have Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Narasimha. So these are the 4 stages of animal form. The first, water life was born. Life was born out of water, right? So that's Matsya Avatara. That is a reference to Matsya Avatara. Then Kurma Avatara is water trying to come to land. There is a series you must, if you get a chance to watch, Life on the Planet. There is a series on Netflix. It talks about life forms that started forming 4 billion years ago. Yeah, 4 billion years ago. Talks about life forms that came into existence from there. And for many millions of years ago, life existed only in the water, under the ocean. For it to come to land, it took many millions of years. So evolution started off in water, even according to scientific evidences. So Matsya. Then Kurma is amphibian, tortoise. Water land, it is trying to come to land. So that's the Kurma Avatara. Then Varaha Avatara. Varaha Avatara is an established terrestrial animal, right? It cannot go into water. It will drown. It is a hardcore land animal. Then in land, you have Narasimha. Narasimha is animal transitioning into man. Narasimha is animal and half. ஆளவந்தான்ல அந்த கமல் சொன்னவாங்க இந்த மனிதன் பாதி மிருகம் பாதி கலந்து செய்த கலவை நான் கலந்து செய்த கலவை நான் அது மாதிரி Narasimha Avatara is this kalavai. He is half man and half animal. So what is this? He is the symbolism of transition of the animal instincts that we have, which are predominant, that is transitioning into the human aspects within us. So the more human tendencies are developing. You are getting control and you are climbing over the animal tendencies and becoming more human. This is the Narsimha Avatara. So Matsya Kurma Varaha Narsimha. Then the fifth one in the tradition that we know of is Vamana Avatara, because this is a half man. He is not a fully developed man, he is a half man. Okay? Or a dwarf man. So it's a man but not fully developed. So from animal, the man in the process of development. Okay, he is half. Then you have Parashurama. Parashurama is the angry man, which means the man is fully developed physically, but he is not entirely in control of his emotions. Okay, he is not entirely in control of his emotions. So that is a fully developed physical man, but still working on getting control over his mental faculties. Then you have Balarama. Okay, Balarama, again in the traditional Golu style, right? Balarama, if you're looking at from the evolution standpoint, the standpoint of evolution, Balarama is the agrarian man, the man who is trying to learn to eat by his own farming. So he is farming, tilling the land, farming and eating from there. He's consuming he is not hunting animals. Now he is starting to make his own food. Balarama, which is why Balarama is always carrying a hala, a plow, agrarian man. Then comes Rama. Rama is in a way, a complete man. Rama is a complete man. Now, in a way, he's a complete man. He's Purushottama. He's a complete man. Raymond. Those who know the shooting, Raymond, complete man. சின்ன வயசுல வந்து அப்பா எப்பவுமே he'll always buy Raymond's தான். Raymond's complete man. Because interesting, my appa's Ishta Devata is also Rama. So Raymond's complete man. So Rama is a complete man. You can't find. So in terms of his potential as a human being, has achieved the highest potential. That's Rama. Then comes Krishna. Krishna is the divinity expressed through man. So when man attains his highest potential, and then he goes to a state of being able to express his divinity, that is Krishna, the divine man, like that, in that sense. And then comes Kalki. Kalki is a future man, a man of or an avatara which will come down essentially to establish divinity again, in a way. That's Kalki. Right? So these are the traditional way of looking at how one evolves through different life stages.
So they say Kala Venkatanayaka. So Balaji is Kalki Rupa.
Correct. Kalau Venkatanayaka. So at the end of the Kalki is supposed to come at the end of the Kali Yuga. There are some calculations say that Kali Yuga in a way is over. Dwapara Yuga has already started. Okay, there are some calculations that talk about that. But then that's all right. So the point is, maybe Kalki has come and gone. We don't know. We are still singing this song, right? So, and again, Kalki is not necessarily. There is a representation saying he comes on a white horse with this thing like a Raja and all that. Now, in according to those steadfast in their devotion with Venkateswara, they'll say Kalau Venkatanayaka, which means the one who is in Kalki, in Kali Avatara, Kali Yuga, Kali Yuga. This is Venkatanayaka. Venkatanayaka or Venkateswara or Balaji that you see is himself the Lord of the Kali Yuga. Like this. So there are different ways of looking at this. And some also say Kalki is in a way not necessarily some savior who's really going to come in the future. It is the identification of the divinity within ourselves, right? To destroy all the negativities around, you take up your own responsibility, essentially, of your own understanding of your own spiritual nature. Anyway, so those are all. The idea is that this is an idea of evolution. Okay. Now, what has happened here? He is in Meena Krite Kamathakola Nrisimha Varnin Swamin Parashwatha. Immediately after Narsimha, he is brought in Parashurama. Right? Okay. So I think in the Parashurama we spoke about it. So he is brought in Parashurama, and then after that, Parashwatha Tapodhana, Vamana comes after that. So in P.B. Anna's way he perceives it, he says that I see from Narasimha, the anger of Narasimha comes in Parashurama. See, Narasimha is always, when you think of Narasimha, is a Ugra Devata. Right? When you think of Narasimha, it's very difficult to think of him as Saumya. Right? You can't imagine, right? With all his nails and all that.
There is one Rupam, there are temples also, Yoga Narasimha.
Yoga Narasimha, he is in Dhyana.
In Tirumala, while coming out, you see the left side, Yoga Narasimha.
There is a place called Sholingar in Tamil Nadu, a little close to Arakonam, and there is Yoga Narasimha. Mama, you're trying to say something? Audio illa.
மலை மேல இருக்கும் அது.
Yoga
பெரிய
Narasimha.
நல்ல பெரிய நரசிம்மர் யோகத்துல இருப்ப ரொம்ப நல்லா இருக்கும் பார்க்கறதுக்கு.
ரொம்ப அழகா இருப்பார்.
ஆமா, அதாவது தி பவர் ஆஃப் நரசிம்மா வித்தவுட் தி ஆங்கர், அது யோகத்துல இருக்கிறதுனால.
Correct. That is the beautiful aspect. The Raudram is not there. But you'll never find him Saumya. You'll not find him like gentle. He's either in Raudra or in Dhyana. So the way P.B. Anna composed Venkateswara Suprabhatam, the way he is perceived it as, from Narasimha comes Parashurama, because Parashurama is an angry rishi. Right? He's gone around the whole world, earth, killing kings, tyrannical kings, 21 times over. This is the story. And Parashurama is one of those rishis who has lived through yugas. He's lived through multiple yugas. He's killed kings 21 times over. Appadina, he has rid the world of kings. Then again, kingdoms and kings and all that came. And again, he found there are kings who are becoming tyrannical. Then he went and destroyed them. Then everything was okay. And then again, kings started ruling, and then they started becoming tyrannical. And then he started clearing off. He did this 21 times. This is what the Puranas say. So which means the only work that he was doing is killing kings. Okay, of course, not time he was teaching students and all that. But his primary, the first thing that he did was he chopped the head of his mother, Renuka Devi, right? His father, Jamadagni, told him, go chop off the head of your mother because she's adultery. I mean, she's performed adultery or something like that. He believed.
மேல பறந்து போன இந்திரனை பார்த்து she just நிழல பார்த்துட்டாங்க.
So she performed adultery. Now in a mind, she looked at Indra's shadow and she, wow, what beautiful irukka. She felt, and then the father Jamadagni said, go and chop off the head of your mother. He was the fourth son, although Parashurama. Jamadagni told the first three sons, they didn't listen. This man, he told, immediately he took his axe and went and chopped off. And then later, Jamadagni was happy and he said, what do you want? I'd like to give you a boon. And he said, I want my mother back. So anyway, so that is this is a man you're talking about who is quick to act. I mean, there's no tolerance, right? தமிழ்ல சொல்லுவா வெட்டு ஒண்ணு குத்து ரெண்டு என்னமோன்னு சொல்லுவாள், அது மாதிரி ஆளு அவரு. ஏக் மார் தோ டுக்கடா. So he'll just go and he's done that. He's cleansed the earth of tyrannical kings 21 times over. So this is the anger that he carries, right? And so from Narasimha, he is brought Parashurama because he represents that. And then from Parashurama, he is now becoming a much gentler and a much developed man, mentally, emotionally. That is Vamana, a Brahmana boy. So Parashwatha, Parashu Atha, Tapodhana, then comes Ramachandra. So if you look at the difference between Vamana and Ramachandra, it's only the height. So he is not given too much importance to the height. Okay. Anna, PB Anna is not given importance to the height. So my uncle will tell one, சித்தப்பா ஒரு ஜோக் ஒன்று சொல்லுவார். ஒருத்தன் வந்து பிரமாதமா அவனுக்கு அமிதாப் பச்சன்னா ரொம்ப இஷ்டம். தினம் அப்படி ட்ரெஸ் எல்லாம் பண்ணி நான் அமிதாப் பச்சன் மாதிரி இருக்கேன், நான் அமிதாப் பச்சன் மாதிரி இருக்கேன் அப்படி. சித்தப்பா சொல்லுவார், இப்படியே அமிதாப் பச்சன் மாதிரி இருக்க, ஆனால் 4 அடி கம்மியா இருக்க அப்படிம்பாரு. அமிதாப் பச்சனுக்கு ஹைட்டே தானே. That is his identity. So like exactly like Amitabh Bachchan, just 4 feet shorter. அது மாதிரி here he did not consider, PB Anna didn't consider the height as a criteria in development of in his perception of evolution, because the more important thing is to gain control or gather control over your internal state of being. So from Narasimha, from an animal, even if you're becoming Parashurama, you're still continuing the animal tendencies. So the animal tendencies have not completely gone out. It's still there. Tapodhana Ramachandra. So then when comes Vamana, Vamana is a fully established Brahmin. And then comes Ramachandra. And then after that comes Sheshamsha Rama Yadunandana Kalki Rupa. Sheshamsha Rama is Balarama. So Rama, then Balarama, Krishna, Kalki. Because in the chronological sequence of things, after Rama was Balarama. Correct? This is another confusion that we also have. Balarama first, Rama first, அப்படிங்கறச்சே in the Golu also, as I said, if you look at it from an evolution standpoint, it is Balarama first and Rama. Why? You're talking about an agrarian man, Balarama, with the hala, with the plow, and then we're talking about a Purushottama, a fully developed man. But if you're looking at it from a chronology sequence of things, then Rama comes first. Rama Avatara is in the Dwapara, in the Treta Yuga. Balarama is along with Krishna in the Dwapara Yuga. So Rama, then Balarama, and then Krishna, and then Kalki. This is the sequence PB Anna has followed. Now, why is he brought this whole thing in? If you look at the first 2 verses also, Kausalya Supraja Rama Purva Sandhya Pravartate Uttishta Narashadula Kartavyam Daivamanyikam Uttishto Uttishta Narasha Uttishto Uttishta Uttishto Uttishta Uttishta Garuda-dhwaja Uttishta Kamalakanta Trailokyam Mangalam. So the first 2 verses is waking him up as Rama and Krishna. Okay, that is the first 2 verses, right? Uttishto Uttishta Govinda Uttishta Garuda-dhwaja. The first line is Kausalya Supraja Rama. The next line is Uttishto Uttishta Govinda. So Rama and Krishna. So which means he's already giving an indication, oh devotees, the one that you're seeing here as Venkateswara is none other than that Rama, none other than Krishna. And if you had any doubt if he is the same Narayana, then I'm telling you in this shloka, Meena Krite Kamathakola Nasimha Varnin Swamin Parashvata Tapodhana Ramachandra Sesham Sharama Yadunandana Kalki Rupa Shri Tishtanti Shri Venkatachalapate Tava Suprabhatam. So this Venkatachalapate that you're looking at is the one who appeared in all these Dashavataras. So this is what PB Anna is saying. So this is the same person, the same Narayana. Venkatachalapate is not any different. So if you think you want to pray to Narayana, you want to pray to Krishna, you want to pray to Rama, you want to pray to Narasimha, This is he. This is he. He is none other than that. This is the representation, which is again going back to what Raghu said, Kalau Venkatanayaka, which means in Kali Yuga, Venkatanayaka or Balaji or Tirupati Balaji is the primordial supreme consciousness. You can call him Krishna, you can call him Vishnu, Narayana, Narasimha, whatever. Okay. So this is the this is that verse where he is re-establishing the stature of Venkatachalapate. And the next one, he goes to say, Ela lavanga ghanasara sugandhi tirtham divyam vyat-sariti hema ghateshu purnam dhritva dhyavaidika shikhamanayah prahrishtah tishtanti venkatapate tava suprabhatam. So here, now he is talking about the Abhisheka, the water, Abhisheka water that is being brought for Venkatachalapate. In fact, there is a similar reference to this Abhisheka Tirtham earlier somewhere. Akasha Sindhu Kamalani Manoharani. This one. Where else? Tava Suprabhatam Arvindalochane. Atradi Saptarashaya Samapasya Sandhyam.
ऋषियः समुपास्यन्ते आकाश सिन्धु कमलानि मनोहराणि आदाय पादयुगमर्चयितुं प्रपन्नाः शेषाद्
So that one. And somewhere here, Matra Vashishta Kadalipal. Okay. So that is one place.
Sri Swamini Pushkarini.
Ingar Mother.
निर्मला श्री स्वामी पुष्करिणी
Shri Swami Pushkarini Kaplava Nirmalangaha Shreyorthino Hari Virinchi Sanandanadya. So there are places where there is a reference to the water from Pushkarini, the water from Akasha Ganga, etc., which has been used for Bhagavan's Abhisheka. Now he is describing what does that water. If you remember the story of Manavala Mamuni and Prativadi Bhayankaramanna, I think. Yes. And Prativadi Bhayankaramanna. The story where every day is supposed to carry the water for Abhishekam to Bhagavan. But on a certain day, he forgets to put and the water must have Ela, Sugandhi, Lavanga, all of this. But on a certain day, he forgets because he is listening to somebody talking about Manavala Mamuni. And he gets so engrossed and he forgets to add those things to the Abhisheka water. And he carries that and goes and delivers it to the people doing the Abhisheka. And when he realizes he's done that mistake, he stands in front of Bhagavan and weeps, saying that I did such a blunder, which means I didn't pay attention to what I'm doing to Bhagavan. I was listening to some conversation. So then Bhagavan himself comes and says, don't worry, the water that you gave was much more sweeter and much more fragrant than the Ela, Sugandhi and all that you had put earlier, because you gave this Abhisheka to me after listening to the Mahatmyam of Manavala Mamuni. So such is the greatness of Manavala Mamuni. And then after that, P.B. Anna went to kind of see him and become his disciple and so on and so forth. So, so this verse again, it talks about those specific things that is offered to Bhagavan in his Abhisheka as Dravya. What are the Dravya? What are this Porul? Dravya Porul. Ela, this is Elaka. Lavangam, which is clove. Then your Dhanasara is camphor. Dhanasara means camphor. Camphor. And Sugandhi Tirtham. So you also add some additional
saffron.
So you also add saffron and all that to make the Tirtha fragrant. And what you do, Divyam Vyat Sariti Ghateshu. Vyat Sariti is Akasha Ganga is referred to as Vyat Sariti. Akasha Ganga, that place from where the water flows down into in Tirumala. It's called Akasha Ganga, and water is collected from there only for the Abhisheka even now. So Viyat means Ambaram or Akasha. Sariti is to flow down. So from Akasha, from the sky, the water that's flowing down is Akasha Ganga. The Divyam Viyat Sariti Hema Ghateshu Purnam. This water is filled up in a golden pot. Hema Ghata. It's filled up in that. And who are carrying this? Dhritya, Dhritva Adya. Dhrita Adya. Adya means today. Who's carrying it? Dhrita Vaidika Shikhamanaya Prahrishtaha. So those who are Vedic Pandits, Vaidika Shikha, which means they are the crest, Shikhamanaya, which means they are the crest jewel of the Vedas, which means the Vedic Brahmanas or the priests who are devoted to you. They are holding these pots in their hands, and they are prahrishtaha. They're delighted. They are feeling joyful, and they are standing. Tishtanti Venkatapate Tava Suprabhatam. They are waiting at your doorstep, O Bhagavan. Tava Suprabhatam. It is morning. Please get up. So this particular verse again presents the idea that when you are offering anything to the Lord, in form of Abhisheka also, and everything that you give should be the best of its class. So if you give the food, you give the best of food. If you give a bath, you give the best of bath. If you give uduvati or uduvati, you give the best of dhupam. Deepam, if you do, build a big deepam with like 50 or 100 wicks, then you give a big deepam, arati. So whatever you do the best for him. So and this is something very beautiful in any Venkateswara or Vishnu temples. The tirtham that they give, right, as prasada at the end of, when you go after the darshan, they give you prasadam and shadari. Right, the standard shadari are the feet of Vishnu. The tirtham that they give is, you must, I mean, if you tasted it, you would know it's amazing. இன்னும் கொஞ்சம்னு சொல்லி வாங்கி போ 2 தடவை. மாமா திட்டி விடுவாரு, மற்றவளுக்கு வழி விடு. There is tulsi also in it. So they'll put and that fragrance is really good. It's very refreshing and it's very pleasant. So elaka is a cardamom, lavangam, clove, then camphor, ghanasara, saffron, tulasi, all of this you put, that water becomes so fragrant. And put it in the right amount, of course. Edible camphor, okay? அதுக்காக நம்ம நாளைக்கு ஆர்த்தி பண்ற camphor அதுல போட்டுட்டு that's a problem. There's a camphor called as edible camphor. Pachakarpuram. You should make sure you get that. And it's extremely fragrant. So this tirtham is what Bhagavan uses for his abhishekam, and we get it as prasadam.
That they add in laddu also.
Pachakarpuram. Ama. It's very, very prominent. Pachakarpuram.
It's a preservative.
Oh, it's a preservative.
Natural.
Okay.
Yeah. You can add in any liquid.
Any
This
payasam,
edible.
usually any kheer or payasam we do also. If you put a little pachakarpuram, but the taste is phenomenal.
Ayurvedic medicines also they add to any liquid they want to keep for more than kashayam, keep for more than 1 day or 1 week. They add this edible camphor further without getting it spoiled.
Very nice. So this is used as abhishekam on Bhagavan, this is the most fragrant water that you can offer to him, and you give him a bath in this. So there are people waiting outside. Tishtanti Venkatapate Tava Suprabhatam. These Vaidika Shikhamanaya, these Pandits, Vedic Pandits, who are chanting Veda mantras, Purusha Suktam, Narayana Suktam, Vishnu Suktam, Shri Suktam, all Suktams and Vedic mantras. They are chanting and they're standing at your doorstep and holding these pots with this blessed, fragrant sacred tirtham, waiting to offer it to you as your abhishekam, so that when you think of it, நமக்கெல்லாம் எழுப்பறிச்சை தள்ள தண்ணி கொட்டி எழுப்புவேன்னு சொல்லுவா தெரியுமா? சின்ன வயசுல அம்மா சொல்லுவாரு, எழுந்துக்கலாம் தள்ள தண்ணி கொட்டிடுவேன் அப்படின்னு. So you can think of it that way. They're all standing there. பெருமாள்கிட்ட வந்து எழுந்துக்கல. சுகந்தி தீர்த்தமாவது ஏதாவது கொண்டு தலையில கொட்டு போகுது. So திருமணம் is also திருநாமம் is also applied to the edible camphor. Oh, I see. I didn't know this. Very nice.
The full white color one.
That's called camphor, is it? Okay. So this is the process of, and see, abhisheka is always, I know we are on the top of the hour. Abhishekam, always remember, whenever you do abhishekam to any form, idol or whatever, always internalize the whole process of cleansing yourself. Whether you do it with water, with honey, with milk, with chandanam, whatever abhishekam that you do with water, imagine the Atmalingam, or imagine your own within yourself. There's cleansing that is happening. And see, the prasadam that we take after we do abhishekam to Bhagavan with this tirtham has a good quality of its own. Because of the natural products that we have put into it, it gets a certain quality of texture and fragrance and taste. But after it falls through the form, the consecrated form of Bhagavan, or that particular idol, which has been consecrated with hundreds of years of mantras and japas and sound vibration, the water that flows from that is supercharged. So before the abhishekam, if you take the water, and after abhishekam, those are sensitive, will be able to also sense the difference. There is something different in this water. And that will be different because of the amount of the energy that is in that form, and the water collects that energy and you take it as tirtham. So this is another thing. In the Kovil, when you do this, and also when you look at the deity being done abhishekam, always in the process, when you're looking at it, it is very beautiful to see, but also use this opportunity to do antahkarana shuddhi. Antahkarana shuddhi means cleansing of the inside. Within us, there is cleansing happening. So put mari, something is happening inside. Visualize this, because this visualization is what is going to influence our inner state. The more I see on the outside, I visualize that there is cleansing happening. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya, all the Shad Ripus are getting cleansed, slowly getting cleansed. It will come up again, it will form again, but it will cleanse. You cleanse. Right? Ela Lavangas Ghanasara Sugandhi Tirtham Divyam Vyatsariti Hema Ghateshu Purnam Dhritva Devaidika Shikhamanayah Prahrishtaha Tishtanti Venkatapate Tava Suprabhatam. Shriyah Kantaya Kalyananadhe Nidhethinam Shri Venkatanivasaya Srinivasaya Mangalam. Kayena Vacha Manasendriyerva Buddhyatmana va Prakrite Svabhavat Karomi Yatyat Sakalam Parasmai Narayanayeti Samarpayami Sadashivayeti Samarpayami Jagadambikaye iti Samarpayami Sadgurunathayeti Samarpayami Hari Om Tat Sadgurubhyo Namah. Om Gurudeva.